The next phase in the log, especially for the push press or maybe push jerk if you're so inclined, is the dip. And this is the knee bend action. Now the three words I use to describe the dip are short, sharp, and violent. Now again, if you look to Olympic weightlifting, once you get above say 180 kilos, the whip or oscillation on the bar is different. So they may teach you to control down, control the phase up, but because the log has no oscillation with it, the quicker you go down, the quicker the stretch reflex to allow a bigger leg drive. So this portion here, the dip, we don't want controlled unless you're doing it for technical purposes. You want to use the stretch reflex to your biggest advantage. So short, sharp, violent. So it's a violent leg drive. So if we look at the dip and we break it down to the different phases, what I would say is when you do the dip, you want the weight to be on your heels. As you do the leg drive, the weight goes through the toes. So what I tell clients to feel with the torso upright is through your heels, through your toes. So feel your heels, you should be able to even pick your big toe up through the toes, okay? It's the biggest mistake I see when people go down and they don't get even through their toes. They don't plantar flex the foot. If you're doing that, you're losing 10, 20, maybe 30 kilos because you're not plantar flexing through the movement. When I say short, what I mean is the knee bend, if you bend your knee and you put a stick in front of your toe, it wouldn't be in front of your toe. If you go down and you do a full squat, you'll tend to feel that the knees have gone too far, and you tend to feel that your hips might end up going back. You only need a short knee bend to get the most out of the leg drive. So short here and up. Short and sharp because we want short, sharp, violent. I want you to attack it. The next part of the dip or the leg drive is to ensure you squeeze your glutes as you come through it. So we dip down, we're on our heels. As we come up onto our toes, I want you to squeeze your glutes as powerfully as you can. What that does is it means your hips are just underneath the log. If your hips are underneath the log, it enables a nice easy lockout. So on our heels, up through our toes, we squeeze the glutes. If you look at the difference from the side, this is me squeezing my quads. My hips are slightly further back. When I'm on my toes and I squeeze my glutes, boom, they've come forward. Your heels will come down, and because you've got your glutes squeezed, it will enable a nice stable base for you to lock out. We obviously want the leg drive to get the log above your forehead, at which point you've squeezed your glutes, it's just a quick triceps lockout. That's an ideal situation. When you press the log, it is a mistake to put your head through too early. I used to do this and I used to miss lifts. What it does is it inhibits your triceps. It inhibits lockout. So if we look at it here, I want you to dip, press, look at it until your elbows have locked. Then you can put your head through. If you put your head through too early, you tighten, so if you push your neck through, you tighten everything up here and it's a lot harder to lock out. So my recommendation is dip, press, it's locked out, boom, look through at the referee, count to 2. Generally in my programs, you'll see the tempo 1, 2, x2. What that means is I always recommend you have at least 2 seconds of the log on your chest and 2 seconds with your head through. You don't necessarily have to have your head through for every single repetition, but always, always at least the last repetition of every set. You want to get comfortable controlling. When I say 2, it's 2 seconds without movement. So if you've dipped, you've pressed and you're moving, head through, then count to 2 once your head is through and once you've stopped moving. So short, sharp, violent dip, and then make sure you get your hips through here to create even more leg drive. It's the difference between using just your quads for leg drive or your quads and your glutes for leg drive. Glutes are a very powerful muscle. We want to get them involved on this.